Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back to Fat Cat Collections. Today, I'm super excited to share with you guys another amazing product for your home or your garage, or really just, it is a portable device as well. And what I'm going to share with you guys today, I'm going to get right into it, is this right here. And this is an amazing, the best sounding, most competitively priced smart home Bluetooth speaker. And you guys, if you guys like audio and you're looking to get something that's not only portable, again, portable, when I show you this thing, you're going to be portable. It is portable because it does have a built-in battery. It's got an 8800 milliamp battery for up to 2 hours of runtime. And you might say 2 hours, that's not a long time. Well, wait till I show you. So let's check it out. So this is the Abramtek E600 Bluetooth speaker. This thing is the best sounding Bluetooth speaker that I've heard to date. No guys, it's not a bazooka, although if you are familiar with car audio, you might be, kind of comparing it to a bazooka tube. And a bazooka tube is a car audio product that's been around for a long time. Sometimes guys who are really into the whole car audio thing, like myself, sometimes you get guys who think that the bazooka tubes are really crummy. When I used to sell car audio back in the day, they are amazing, and they've gotten better and better. You pay a premium for them, but a lot of people have said, oh man, the bazooka tube is kind of a gimmick. It's not a gimmick. A round enclosure gives you a lot of structural integrity. It gives you the ability to make a super strong enclosure without using super thick materials like a 3/4 inch MDF. And with larger drivers and more intense drivers or more competition drivers, it has to be a lot thicker. Now, I've always used 3/4 inch MDF with bracing. I've never had any kind of problems. But a bazooka tube is a very kind of, I would say, about 1/4 inch plastic. And they can run it with such a small diameter or such a small thickness because of the nature of the design. Anything in a circle like this that's why you find propane tanks, compressed gas cylinders are made round, because they're extremely strong when it comes to pressure, okay? And a subwoofer enclosure does produce pressure. And so that's why this is a fantastic design. So let's talk a little bit about, I'm not going to read, sometimes I'll read the listing on Amazon. I'm going to give you guys my opinion, and give you guys just kind of a very rough, more crude description of what you're getting with this, rather than just reading you stuff right off their website. What I do want you to do after the video is click the link in the description and read more about it directly off the company website. They do have a couple different terms that describe this enclosure. I'm going to give you guys my opinion on what this enclosure is. So first of all, you have a 3-driver system with this here. It is a 100-watt powered Bluetooth speaker. You'll get about 2 hours of runtime on the 8800 milliamp battery. I keep these plugged in all the time, so in the event that I do want to use it, if I want to take it outside, take it to the garage, I can do so. Most of the time, this is just going to be stationary, but you do have the ability to bring it with you, bring it to a party, bring it to wherever you want to take it. Naturally, you're not going to hop on your motorcycle with this, but this is something very easy. Obviously, you can throw it in the trunk of your car, throw it in your car. It's not so big and bulky that you can't take it with you. Now, it is bigger and bulkier than most Bluetooth speakers. It's not something you're going to take. I guess you could, but it is technically portable, but obviously it's a larger speaker. So it's really meant to be placed at home, but you do have the ability to take it with you, which is great, because a lot of times when you look at some of the smart home speakers, and we're going to touch on that in a second, why I think this is a fantastic value, and why, if you are in the market for adding a smart home assistant to your home, mainly the Amazon product. And the reason for that is because the Amazon products, the Echo products, these smart home system products, will allow you to connect separately to a Bluetooth speaker. So you don't have to use a speaker built into the device, which is great if you're like me and you mainly bought the Amazon Echo products, the Echo Dot, the Echo Input, and the Echo, I forget which one, I kind of get confused in names. I have 3 different versions, the Dot, the Echo Input, and then the one that you plug right into the wall. They're basically designed not to sound good. They're basically designed just to have a couple of them, like the Echo Dot. It does have a speaker built in, but it's not, or the Echo Flex, that's the one I was trying to remember. They do have speakers built in, but they're not meant to really have good audio or any kind of bass whatsoever. They're mainly there to give you information and to be a voice assistant. The speaker is just kind of something they threw in there so you can at least have some audio output from the device. If you're looking at the Echo Input, that's their newest device, which I'll put a link for that as well. If it's still available, you can pick it up up for $9.99, which is fantastic. You're getting basically the Wi-Fi smart assistant with no speaker. So you have to hardline it right into from a 3.5 millimeter plug into a speaker or an audio system, or connect it to a Bluetooth speaker like this. Price point of this is fantastic. $179, shipped from Amazon Direct. Again, links are in the description. Check this out. Okay, so as far as the drivers in this, you have two mid-range slash tweeters in the top of the unit, both in opposite directions to give you more of a 3D, three-dimensional sound. Then you have the rest of the device, which is mainly the subwoofer enclosure, which is a large enclosure considering, from what I can tell, this is about a 5¼ inch driver. I don't think it's less than that because the output this puts out, I just don't think you can get this kind of bass out of a 4-inch driver. Now the tuning of this device, the enclosure, is what really sets this apart. And this is something you don't see in a lot of home subwoofers at all. I mean, really. What's nice is that a lot of the companies out there have been using passive radiators like the Google Home and the Microsoft's answer, the that's using passive radiators. And what that does is gives you the benefits of a ported enclosure, which traditionally has to be larger. And when it comes to enclosures, a lot of people don't want large, big, bulky enclosures. Now, this is a bigger and bulkier enclosure. This is something that you're going to want to have, I guess, somewhere in your house that you don't mind seeing. It's not something you're going to tuck away on a bookshelf. It's big. It's meant to be on the floor or slightly elevated. It's kind of between. Now, what they've done in this is not incorporated passive radiators like a lot of different companies use, which are great. Again, it simulates a port. And what a port is basically a hole, and you guys have all seen it. It's a tube that's a certain length and diameter, and that's dependent upon the enclosure volume. And, of course, the driver you're using, mainly the enclosure volume, to give you guys to give the enclosure a tuned frequency. And if you've ever heard most home subwoofers, they're always ported. For a while there, back in the day, they wanted to sell more drivers to get people to buy more speakers. So they claim that these car subwoofers worked great in sealed enclosures. And many of them do for what they are, but you're always better off if you have the ability to take two subwoofers and put them in a sealed box in your car. You're better off going with one bigger enclosure with one driver, tuned and ported. My ear, I like 32 hertz. And I could always kind of tell a speaker that's got a lower tuning frequency like that. It just really gets a rumble. A lot of home subwoofers that I've heard don't sound all that good. Again, modestly priced. If you want to spend, $1,000 for one, yeah, you're going to get a banging sub. But I like to get the stuff that's kind of affordable that gives you a lot of bang for your buck. And I've experimented and owned and used high-end stuff and entry-level stuff, and I can tell you it's really about the setup more than it is the power you're running. Those are all factors, but something like this, what you're mainly getting, this is a Bandpass enclosure. And what you have is, rather than have a port, basically if you haven't seen a sealed enclosure is a driver in a sealed box. A port enclosure is a driver in a box with a tuned tube, a port, or it could be square. Again, the length and the diameter of that is specific. And then again, you have and there's lots of different enclosures, but then you have this. And what this is a Bandpass. And what they've done, there's a certain, depending on the driver, and I don't know what driver they use, of course, but basically depending on the driver, the size, the enclosure, you're basically having a sealed enclosure. So the woofer is somewhere inside here, maybe towards the bottom, maybe towards the center. And there is a volume of air behind the driver and in front of the driver. And this is what you call a fourth order bandpass enclosure. And so you have the woofer, which is a sealed enclosure like we talked about, but is firing into the speaker end of the driver is firing into a ported, tuned enclosure. And what you get is a curve. And again, I don't want to go into the specifics of audio and all stuff, but basically you get more of a steep curve, more of a bandpass, basically, where it plays a certain frequency much louder with more volume and depth than you normally would out of a ported and sealed enclosure. Now, again, you do lose some bass out of that, but depending on how it's tuned, again, it all goes down to the driver, the volume, and the port tuning. Again, I don't know what this is tuned to, but this is tuned really low, and it really plays deep stuff a lot better than honestly every Bluetooth speaker that I've ever heard. Now, there's lots out there. I'm sure some really great ones, but the price point, $179 shipped to your door, that's pretty amazing. Again, I think it's a 5 1/4 inch driver, but this thing, I mean, plays amazing. Now, as all these speakers and a lot of home audio or any audio equipment, the higher that volume gets, you start to notice that you're not going to get as much bass output. There is a point, a limit naturally, with all audio equipment on how much bass you're going to get out. But when this thing basically hits, I would say probably about 3/4 inch volume, you still have more headroom for more mid and treble, but your bass kind of remains stagnant. But the amount of bass you get out of this is absolutely incredible. What's also amazing about these is, and I don't have it set up like this, the company was nice enough, and I want to, again, if I haven't already, thank them for their generosity. They sent me 2 of these. And I'm not going to show you both today, but I will come back and do another video with these, showing you guys the stereo hookup. What this allows you to do is these will allow you, and I was kind of skeptical when I first got to see if it was actually going to do it. This allows you to link 2 of these together and have one be left and one be right. So you could set these up on a home theater system and actually use these as front tower speakers in your setup, which is great because not only do they look good, they really sound phenomenal. Compared to most bookshelf speakers I have hanging up on the wall there a set of Acoustic Research bookshelf speakers that were like $400 a pair. They run a 5 1/4 inch driver and a tweeter, and they are ported, and the amount of bass out of those things is minimal. It's really a mid-bass, mid-range speaker like most bookshelf speakers. And in order to really start getting any kind of bass out of something small like that, like a bookshelf speaker, you really need a subwoofer. So this is one of the few speakers that I've heard in my life that has this much bass output, where it really is an all-in-one system at a very small footprint. Now, one thing to be noted, if you are going to set these things up, putting this in a corner like any subwoofer will almost double your bass output. Again, depending on your room. The bass output you're going to get if you are able to put these in a corner is going to be, I mean, very noticeable. And again, that's like with any speaker. Just like when you put subs in your trunk, most subwoofer enclosures benefit from the speakers facing backwards. And that's the same. You get I believe it's called a resonance. Again, I'm not an audio engineer, but you do get a gain. In a car, it's called cabin gain. I would call it living room gain or home gain in your house. And by putting this in a corner, you're going to be amazed at the bass output. Now, I did have these set up in stereo, but unfortunately with my living room setup, I have so much stuff already. I just cosmetically in the room, I didn't want to put these near my TV where I already have a Vizio Dolby Atmos soundbar. The other TV, I already have a on-wall flush 5.1 Dolby. Every room in my house has a very discreet Dolby Digital 5.1 system, which for me, I don't really need the Atmos, although I do have it in my soundbar. I've always been very happy with the basic 5.1. I don't really need anything more. I'm extremely happy with the way that sounds. If I had a larger home, doing construction one day, maybe I'll put in a 9.2 just for the hell of it, but 5.1 is really enough for me. So with these in stereo setup, there is a distance. And they say it's 5 meters. I was having kind of problems and connectivity problems when I went over about 7 feet. Other areas, and that was basically where I had one of these drivers. So I think basically where I put this, maybe there was some kind of interference going on where I connected this with my my in-wall flush-mounted Amazon Echo Dot. So for my situation, I didn't want to have them in stereo, so I moved one upstairs on the Amazon Flex. And I put one downstairs in the corner on the in-wall Amazon Echo. So I can play home hall audio with those by giving the group command with Alexa. Damn, said it again. Never mind. And you can adjust the timing of these, because whenever you hook up a Bluetooth speaker, wait till she stops. Yeah, I know. Stop.
To play on your speaker,
Alexa,
use the device name.
Stop. Sorry, guys. I know I'm going to get some hate comments for that. Anyway, so with this, you can adjust the delay. So because if you have several of these like I do, I have basically this Amazon device linked to the Microsoft Bluetooth speaker. I'm using that for that purpose. I have this one downstairs with the in-wall Echo. One in my bedroom with the Echo Flex, which is hooked up to another one of these. And so I have a group set up where I call it everywhere, basically, and I can play music to all these devices, but there is a delay. And with the Echo app, with the Amazon app, you could adjust the delay to kind of get it, or not kind of get it, but I didn't dial it in perfectly, but pretty close. The only problem with that is once you dial it in, you really should dial in each device as you add them. If you're using any Amazon Echo products that are just using its own built-in speaker or hardline to the device, use that as your starting point, then adjust the delay on each speaker you add. It's something I'll go back and do at a later date. So this thing is phenomenal. As far as the rest of the features, what's cool about it is that you have an arrow port right here. And what they've done is they have an arrow port is basically a flared port. And what they've done is they've integrated a very dim LED nightlight in a cool white into this. So this will act as a nightlight also wherever you put it in your house, your room, whatever. You have a nice soft glow come from this thing all the time. And what they've done is they put this inverted cone on top of the port. What that does is help to eliminate port noise. It kind of gently dissipates the air or the port turbulence, or the air coming out of the port, and it limits that turbulence, that sound you're going to get. If you ever heard a port that's too small, you're going to get what's called port noise. And when that speaker's moving and all that sound's coming out of that one hole, you can get kind of a noise. And that's basically the air rushing past the sharp edges on the port because the port's not large enough or it's not really filed down where it's smooth. They've integrated, again, an arrow port and the flare on this thing where all that audio coming out of here slowly dissipates, smoothly dissipates into the atmosphere through this raised portion of the speaker. You can see right there. So this is where your bass comes out. You can put it right up against the corner if you want. You have two speakers in the top here. It is available in a purple grill and a black grill. I opted for the black purple. Not sure, kind of weird. I wish I would have made these in a different color, but this is something for you guys who like to customize things. You could very easily customize this if you wanted to. You could very easily do a new grill on this, wrap this. You could paint this to whatever you want. I like the nice charcoal color with the chrome standoffs right here, the black grill, and then you have some buttons on top. Very clean device, very well made. On the back, you have a reset button, so if you need to reset this device for whatever reason, you can do so. A LED light showing you if it's plugged in and charging. You have an auxiliary port right here. You have an audio out, so if you want to hook this hard line directly into another one of their speakers, you can do so. USB port right here. This is the, which one is this one? I always forget which USB. It's not the micro USB with the kind of arched edges. This was the oval one. C, I think is USB-C, I think. And again, the auxiliary port on top. You have a couple buttons, pretty straightforward. They're like a rubber coated. You have your mode button. This controls your EQ between mode 1 and 2, or I would say enhanced bass mode or enhanced surround mode. You have your volume up and down or track advance, and of course you have your power, play, pause button. Pretty much the standard buttons you're going to see on most Bluetooth speakers. And that is really about it. If you want to, again, link them stereo mode. And what's cool about these things too, if you do link them, pair them stereo mode, this device design where you can still cast to it. So a lot of devices, if you use it as a link mode to another speaker, you lose the ability to connect a Bluetooth device, your phone, your Amazon product. With this, you can still sync this as a pair left and right, move them around your living room or put them right in front of your sweet spot, and still have a Bluetooth device casting the audio of this. So I'm using this as an Amazon speaker. So that was my point when I mentioned earlier in the video. Let me put this down here. If you want to go ahead and integrate an Echo product or an Amazon Smart Home Assistant into your home, I highly recommend you get one of these instead of getting one of their speakers, which, let's go ahead and take a look while I got you guys here, exactly how much those cost. And give you guys an up-to-date rundown on how much you're going to pay with some of their smart speakers. So if you want to get the third generation smart speaker, which from what I can tell does have a built-in subwoofer, kind of a similar setup to this for that 360-degree audio. It's a down-firing driver. Again, I have not heard this, so I can't really tell you whether it's amazing output or not, but I can tell you that most speakers that I have heard have not sounded anything like this. You can pick that up for 99 bucks. So, and I can tell you, if you're going to be getting like the Echo Show, any one of the dots, if you're going to be getting, what do they got? The Echo Show 8. Where's the other ones here? It's been a while since I've looked into what they're offering right now. You have the Echo Studio. These are supposed to be better where you have a separate sub. I have not heard those, but for those, I mean, for the price in those, you're paying $199 for each one, and that's just the speaker. That doesn't include the sub. This thing is like getting basically the speaker and the subwoofer. So, I mean, it's a really affordable, the price point's really affordable in this thing here. Again, $99, Echo Plus, $149. I mean, a JBL Flip is $75. What else they got here? I think that's really the only ones they got. If you want to look into Sonos or Bose, man, I mean, those things are just, they really charge you a lot for them. The Echo Input right now, which is, again, what you're going to need for one of these, or your Echo, they're charging a little more for that right now. I'm pretty sure you can still get that on Best Buy for $9.99. Wherever you can get it for the best price, I'll put in the description. So what you're going to want to do, guys, one is drop a comment if you have this or any experience, because when those comments come onto the channel and people who own this actually have something positive to say about it, it's helpful for those other people who may want to make a purchase. If you're in the market for a smart home speaker, look no further. Get yourself one of the Echo products, cheapest one you can get. Preferably the Input, because it's the smallest. It's something you could very easily stick to the top of this or rest it on top, or just put it off to the side. You can hardwire that directly into this if you want a more reliable, I shouldn't say reliable, because the Echo products are pretty reliable with their Bluetooth connection. But if you don't want to use Bluetooth for that purpose, as far as streaming to the device, you can go, and it'll still work just like, the Echo still works the same whether you hardline it with a 3.5mm cable or you have it connect to a speaker via Bluetooth. It works the same, but you have the option to do either one. Hardwiring is always, in my opinion, the most reliable connection, period. Again, not that I've had any kind of problems, but it's like internet. I'd always go with the hardwire. Depending on where you may put that, cosmetically, it may be something you want to do or not do. That's the nice thing about the Input. It's so small, you can really tuck that away. Only negative thing I have to say about this, the only negative thing, all your connections are at the top of the device. So it would have been very nice if they would have put maybe some internal channeling down here or external and had your inputs on the bottom. The only problem you have with this is cosmetically, it's such a great sounding, amazing looking speaker that when you plug your power or any of your wires into this, they're just hanging. And so what I would recommend is, if you're going to go ahead and use this hardline or keep it plugged in like I do, and it's something that you're always going to have on like I do, get yourself a long USB-C. I'm pretty sure that's the one. The other thing, it doesn't come with the USB adapter, which is amazing, because even at $179, they should have included one, I think. It's such a cheap addition for somebody just to be able to just get it home, have everything you need. They give you the 3.5mm plug. They give you the micro USB-C cable, just not the power adapter. So if you buy this, pick up one of those as well. I will put a link for one of those in the description as well, where you can pick up the one that I picked up. But what you'll want to do is, I would just go get yourself some black tape. You can get some black duct tape or whatnot, and just run your wire down the back of this thing. And you could put, a whole strip down. It's going to be on the back, so you won't see it'll blend in. But do something to kind of tuck that line. So order a larger USB-C cable if you're going to pick up one of these. Order the power adapter. And of course, if you are going to hardwire this thing, order a longer 3.5mm cable. The one that comes in, it's about 3 feet. It's really short. Go get a 10-footer. This way you have plenty of room to tuck cables underneath the molding. Just kind of think about these things. Cosmetics for me is a big deal. And you guys know, if you've checked out my smart home tours, I love audio. I love smart home tech. I love surveillance. I love techie shit. But I don't really want to see it. I want to see minimal amount of tech. So stuff like this, they look great, but I still kind of tuck these away where they're there, but they're not there. It's not the focus of my home and living room when you go in. You know the tech is there, you see it, but it's not like a big entertainment center full of electronics. They're very subtle, I guess the placement's very subtle. So I would recommend doing that. Black tape, get it at Lowe's, whatever. And I will, if I find it on Amazon, it'd be nice to get everything in one place. The power adapter, the cords, I'll put a link to each one of those on there. And of course, the link to where you can get the Amazon Echo cheapest. When I got mine, I got it from Best Buy for $9.99. Link will be in the description for that as well. And it's better to have those things just in case you get this home. I know for me, anytime I get a device and I don't have what I need, even if I didn't think about it at the time, it's better to have somebody like me tell you guys, hey, just get it. It's an extra like $5 to have those things. In case you get it home, you're like, yeah, I know right where I put it before you order. I don't need that stuff. Then you get it home, you're like, you know, I really don't like it where I put it there. So I'd like to move it. Better to have those things, not have to wait for it. I like it, you know, I like to start a project and finish it. Not have it drag on for weeks. Just me, just sharing that with you. So again, I want to thank Abramtek for their generosity. If this is an indication of their other products, I really hope that I get to work with them again in the near future. Like I said, I reached out to them 2 months ago, and with Chinese New Year, and you know, we all know that, you know, with the coronavirus, stuff like that going on in China, things are kind of a little bit of a standstill. So not a big deal at all. My contact over there, extremely helpful. As soon as she got a hold of me, she was like, I'll get that in the mail tomorrow. This did come from Amazon Direct. And it was here pretty quick. So naturally, if you're a Prime member, you do get these things shipped pretty fast. I don't know with this, and again, I think it depends on where you live, if you get this next day or not. But anyway, I'll put a link in the description. They do have another version, which is kind of confusing. They have an E500, which is $130 more. It's a 200 watt version. I can't imagine what that sounds like, but it is available in kind of this cool gold color. I'm hoping to get my hands on one of those maybe in the near future, just so I can maybe compare some of the other products. Guys, I'm telling you, it's a very easy thing. If you pick this up, if you're in the market for a Bluetooth speaker, or you want to add some, you know, around the home audio, this is a great way of doing it. Forget about that Sonoff. Forget about Bose. The amount of money you're going to pay for those devices, you're going to get something like this that does sound better. It's going to give you more bass, more volume, and it's going to be a lot cheaper. So definitely check it out. If you have any questions whatsoever, do not hesitate to ask. I'm always here to help out. Drop a comment, drop me an email. My email address is in the description of the video. Again, I want to thank Abramtek. Very generous to send me 2 of these. These are awesome. I've been using these over the weekend. They sound great. My house bumped already, but these things, I'm telling you, put them in a corner. They are phenomenal. Your neighbors will complain. You'll hear these from outside. They hit. And I'm telling you, I've heard a lot. I have a Creative, and I'm not, again, this isn't in any kind of order. I have 2 Vizio soundbars. I have 5.1 Dolby Digital systems, well, I don't have the one in my office hooked up anymore. I just wasn't using it. So in my bedroom, my downstairs, I have an outdoor home entertainment system near my hot tub. I have audio in all my cars. I know my audio equipment. I know my gear. And I'm telling you, this thing, compared to all the smart home speakers I've heard, all the, you know, portable home audio devices, this thing is phenomenal. And if you're in the market, I can't stress it enough, if you're in the market to getting some smart home tech in your home, if you're set on going with Google or the Google Smart Home Assistant, you're gonna need another reason to buy this, because that one, the Google, you can cast to it with Bluetooth, but it won't cast its Bluetooth signal to other devices. Kind of crummy they didn't put that technology or that feature in their device. Not sure why, but the Amazon products and the Microsoft products, you can cast, or I'm sorry, the Amazon products, you can cast your audio from the device, whatever product you have, to a separate external speaker, which is a great reason to buy an Amazon product. And again, they play well with others. Both have pros and cons, but Amazon has really stepped up their game on their Smart Home Assistant. And I would encourage you to check it out. This is something that if you already have one, and if you have an Echo Dot and you're like, yeah, I didn't really care about the audio, but now I'm kind of like thinking I wish I would have got the Amazon, the larger speaker. Guys, I mean, pick this up. Just to let you guys know, if you want to bundle, if you're looking to, well, I want to get the Amazon sub bundle, which comes with 2 Echo Plus devices and the subwoofer, you'll get at $429, which is not too bad. That is a second generation. But with this, you get 2 of them, $179 each. And I don't know if they have any kind of, no discount for multiple orders. But still, 4.5 stars on Amazon if you don't take my word for it. Pick it up. Amazing device. And if you do get it, I want to hear what you guys think about it. Because, again, I've seen other guys review this, and they're all like, oh, man. But I was like, okay, it's going to sound good because I knew what kind of enclosure it had. But you never know how it's designed. You never know until you actually hear it. And I can tell you guys, if you trust me on watches and men's fashion, and any of you 14,600 of you that enjoy watching me, and, again, I do what I like. I do my own style. If our, styles align or we see eye to eye on things, great. You know, I am my own person. I do things for me. If you like some of the things I've shared with you guys, if you trust me in any way when it comes to some of the things I have recommended, get this thing. You will not be disappointed. So, all right, guys, thanks again for watching the video. Again, I want to, for the third time, thank Abramtek. Super generous. I really hope to work with them again in the future. Click the link in the description. At least check out the listing. Even if you're in the market to buy one now or not, check it out. Read more a little bit about it. I'll put both links to the manufacturer site. Better to get it through Amazon. It's always great because if you do have any kind of problems or you do have to return it, or if you don't like it, which you will not like it, trust me, you can return it. And Amazon's really easy to do that. So, all right, guys, thanks again for watching. You guys have a great day, and take care.